Hi guys, welcome to the 6th episode of Alumni Speaks, and we have two very talented, exceptional alumni with us, Ugyen and Aparna. So hi guys, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Thank you for
you.
being a part of
Hi.
the show. Aparna, I would like you to introduce yourself first.
So I was in the batch of 2014-2017 of journalism and mass communication, and I'm a professional model, and I was the runner-up at Miss India International in 2019.
Okay, very well. And again, what about you?
I was the batch of 2019 BJMC. Currently, so I'm a filmmaker in Bhutan.
Okay, you're a filmmaker in Bhutan. Very well. So, guys, let's talk about your journey in the college first, right? So, Aparna, you have been from the earliest batch of JLU.
Yeah.
And of course, your mentor was Mr. Divakar, sir, Mr. Divakar Shukla, and he has guided you all throughout. So, Aparna, how has your journey been with him?
My journey was incredible, and I cannot thank the faculty and the people that I met there in words for bringing out the best in me. And I remember I was a very shy girl, extremely underconfident, and I know they've all worked so hard to build confidence in me, and I'm extremely grateful for everything.
Perfect, perfect. And how about you again?
India has been my second home now. At first, it was a very difficult thing for me to adapt to a new place, So as I was traveling far from home for the very first time, so I was meeting the new people, I was in a new culture, I was in a new tradition, new food, everything was new for me down there. So even the language was new for me, so it was very difficult for me to cope. But then, like as you have mentioned, Yoga Shukla, so he has been more than a parent to me. He has guided through all my journey to the during my college days. He have like always welcomed me in whatever I wanted to wish to do, whatever problems I had in my college or any sort of difficulties I had in college. He was always there to support me. So I think for now, when I go back and think about it, it's one of the best thing that happened to me.
So I have seen your journey because I've been there. So I have seen you evolve from a very shy guy who was from Bhutan to somebody who became a very talkative brat of the college. So I've actually witnessed your journey that way. Where did that idea come from? That from Bhutan and coming from already from a film background. How did that idea strike to you that you want to move to India to pursue your education, especially Bhopal?
Okay, so it was like I didn't want to continue my studies after my 12th standard. So by then I was already in the film industry. I was already working with the professionals there. So somewhere I got used to working with them, and then I like what they did, and then I enjoy what I was doing at the time. So I didn't want to stop where I was, and I wanted to continue that journey, and didn't want to continue my study. But then there was a father who always pursued me to I think here it was not mandatory though. He just wanted to make the right choice, saying that I can of course out for my career, but then what if you have a degree, what you have some education background as well, which is very important in this 21st century. So well, at some point of time I thought maybe yes, why not. I wanted to evolve as a filmmaker. I want to learn more. So learning more new was something which I really wanted, which I still have that. So I thought, okay, maybe I should go and study further and make myself more aware of what I'm going to do. So after that, I was looking for the colleges around India, especially because I always believed India have the best education since I've watched some of the Bollywood movies and I loved that. And I always thought I wanted to go there and work there. So that's how then there's my friend Namgi Doji, who is senior to me. So he was already there and somewhere we communicated and he said, oh, okay.
Yeah. So that is how India happened and then JLU happened to you. So, Aparna, how about you? Like, when you coming from, like, you, as you mentioned that you have been a very shy girl, and then this transformation of, going for a beauty pageant. It has, I'm sure it must have been a very difficult path for you, in general, to, like,
Yeah.
be out there and become bold. So, how do you describe your journey?
I think it was very difficult for me because I had never worn heels in my entire life. And suddenly I was wearing 6-inch heels. And I didn't know how to walk properly in those heels. And I would practice for 3 hours straight. I had bruises on my thighs because of extensive practicing. It was very difficult. In college, I wouldn't, even do my eyebrows or wax my hands, and suddenly beauty pageant. It was something that I always wanted to do. As a kid, I always used to, imitate a Miss India. I would lock myself into the room, I would wave my hands, winning crown, imitating all of that moment. But I never had the confidence to do that. I think JLU gave me that confidence because it was a sudden exposure out of school. You're meeting different people from different part of the cities, a new experience, and you'll surround yourself with so many people who are uplifting you and they believe in you more than you believe in yourself. So that's how I think it gave me confidence.
That's really nice. So now, if I talk about your stream, you guys chose, like, BA in journalism. So how do you describe that particularly? People, the course that you guys have opted for, you could have gone for any other course, right? You could have gone for a generic BBA or commerce or law, as a matter of fact, because people then, like, usually choose different paths. So why and how has BJMC helped you in your career? Over to you, Aparna.
I never wanted to opt for a regular course, right? I took biology in my school, but I never wanted to be a doctor. I never wanted to do everything that everyone does. And you'll meet so many people that will convince you that you are not going to make it. But there are going to be haters, there are going to be doubters, but then there will be you proving them all wrong. So I just wanted to experiment a lot, explore a lot. That's how I thought that journalism would be a good option for me because it will help me build confidence. It will give me the required exposure. And that's what it did. It worked well for me, I guess.
Perfect, perfect. More than theoretical knowledge, the practical knowledge
Yes.
actually worked for you guys. And how about you again?
I think it's known from the beginning that I would be opting some kind of similar streams. So as I was already working with the media, so just to evolve myself as a professional. So I wanted to opt that course, which I did, and I'm glad.
Okay, okay, very well. So today journalism has totally changed. It is a very diverse field when you talk about journalism and mass communication. It's not just about somebody who's holding a mic in front of the camera. It is about your advertisement. It is about the ad industry. It is about how one perceives you. You have done ad with Mr. Ranbir Kapoor. I'm sure it must have been an amazing experience for you,
Yes.
per se. And but the meaning of the journalism has totally changed. So how do you define it? I mean, how do you define journalism in today's time?
I think technology has completely altered the media environment. And with the access of technology, um, the way it was before, it has completely changed now. Um, it's a lot more easier, but with that, there comes a lot of fake news. The authenticity has to be in a great question, I guess. For me, I think it has become more convenient, more accessible, because someone who's too lazy to read newspaper can read news through apps or through social media, so it's easier for them.
Yeah, I am one of them that, like,
Me
if I
too.
have to read news or if I have to go through anything, the social media is my
Yeah,
go-to thing all the time.
same.
Newspapers aren't, because and I think
Exactly.
social media has altered news and altered a lot of things in a, I think I should say, in a manipulative way to manipulate us. That's my POV, if I have to say. But again, what do you have to say about journalism in today's time? Because I think you are in a different place altogether, Bhutan. So what are your views on that?
Yeah, as Aparna was saying, that journalism is a very vast word itself. You know, the way it depicts. It's not only about holding a mic and having a camera in front of you. Journalism is everything that the world needs to hear right now, because every information that's been disseminated around the world is done by journalism, whether it's in terms of news reporting, or whether it's in terms of advertisements, or whether it's in terms of uh, filmmaking. So I think this is very important at the moment.
Very true. So let's talk about your work part. So you are a model, you are a director, actor. So how do you define your industry in a place like Bhutan in comparison to Indian industry? What you have learned here? I'm sure there must be a little differences there, because I see what I've studied about your place. There's a lot of culture. People hold on to their originality, and
Yeah.
it is very much depicted in the movies and the artwork also. So what about your field there?
Yeah, it is it's very different from India, from where I study. You know, firstly, the geographical itself is that the country is very small. Our country is very small, and the population, it's just 700,000, more than 700,000, which is even lesser than the population of Bhopal itself. So as I was saying, so everything like being a very small industry, and like developing industry,
Yeah.
industry was just started somewhere around 20 years back. So we are still evolving at the moment. So while I was in college, and when I was studying the history of Indian cinema, so that time I realized, okay, so I think we're on the right track right now, because where we are and where India is right now and where India was before. So I was like, okay, so they went through the same phase as well, where they had to go through a lot of difficulties of finding the peoples, finding the cinemas, finding the right people. Like I thought, okay, we're on the right track though. And then, like now Bhutan is doing well. And then like of course, yes, as you said, the difference is uh very much as I already said, because of the population, because of the different cultures, and the way we have to evolve ourselves as a filmmaker for different geographical locations and for that particular audience.
True. And Aparna, what do you like have to say about this? Because you are a professional model, right? So I'm sure there comes a lot of backlash from the society also, because we let's admit, because we are in Bhopal, uh,
Yes.
the modeling is still not accepted here as a part of the professions, like not something that people look forward to. And how has your like journey been as a model, and how do you define it, and what is the scope of it in the coming time?
I think modeling as a profession has a lot of rejection. And I always believe that rejection is redirection. So there are going to be a lot of opportunities. For me personally, this entire year has been about a lot of struggle, a lot of rejection. Like I would get shortlisted for the biggest brand TVC, and at the last moment, I don't know what would happen, and it would suddenly go away from my hands. So I think for this field specifically, having an optimistic approach, and that is important. I think for people, yes, they are not very acceptable of this profession. Whenever people ask me what I do, I tell them that I'm a model. They don't take me seriously. They think that I'm dumb or something. I don't know. They think that I'm not intelligent, or
I think they
maybe,
take you to be
yeah,
Instagram influencer, which is so totally different from what you are in reality.
exactly.
Yeah.
So they have a preconceived notion or stereotype that women who are models are not really good in character wise, and these kind of things.
I know.
And even with from relative side, they'll put a lot of pressure on you. Okay, you have turned 25 now. What are you going to do? Are you still going to continue modeling? What are you going to do career wise? They don't consider it as a good career option. But I think scope wise, it definitely has, money wise, it's really good. And it's good exposure wise as well. I
Yeah,
think
but
to
I think overall, be it art direction, be it, if I have to just talk
Mm,
about Bhopal in general, so we are in a state of flux. Like when we come at the age of 25, we are in a state where we have to think, are these professions are just not being very well paid. That's a very different ball game altogether. But the kind of respect and that this profession deserves, and the kind of hours that you guys put in the practice and everything. So this profession has to be respected first, and then of course money comes after that.
Absolutely.
So yeah, India that way I think is still in that process of accepting it. The profession, like you guys are like director.
I think metropolitan cities, they still respect it. In Bhopal, they don't want to pay models. They think that they're doing a favor to you by, you know, giving you the shoot. But people get paid for it. Don't expect me to do it for free. So I think it's better if you move to a metropolitan city to pursue this career. Otherwise, tier 2 cities, it's difficult. It's even difficult to convince people to pay me for it.
Yeah, I think Bhopal is a tier 3 city, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Tier 2 cities have that, you know, when people know you have the knack for something, you are respected in that profession, and they definitely want you to go ahead with this. But this pandemic has affected industry a lot. I mean, in general. So there are so many different, like, you know, for example, a movie has artist, a movie has an art directors, a stylist, a costume designer, and on the whole, the industry is affected. So again, how would you like, you know, define that this pandemic has really affected, like, you know, industry in a way that it shouldn't have?
Yeah, actually, the pandemic has really affected the Business film industry as much as it has affected the cinemas around the world right now. Since March or April, since 2020.
2020, yeah.
2020. So after that, the pandemic hit, and then like we didn't have the screenings actually. We still don't have the screenings at the moment. Like due to that, it has impacted a lot of actually everyone in the industry, from the director to the artists, from the singers to the music directors, from crew members to everybody. But then, very fortunately, His Majesty the King of Bhutan, yes, always made sure that we are at least not made to like go empty-handed. So there's a project under His Majesty where His Majesty's make sure the people who are right now not having a really good business are being taken care of by His Majesty, the King himself. So yes, though we are affected, but then I know we are all going to come stronger together someday when the pandemic's over. But still, at the moment, His Majesty the King has always been behind us. So we're very, especially Bhutan, has been very fortunate about it.
That's commendable. That's commendable what the Majesty the King is doing for the people. You know, on the contrary, I think in this pandemic, like first and the foremost thing is that like if I talk about my graduation time, so I think that there were just 4 to 5 very limited options that we have been like, you know, we have studied, we have seen, we have heard people like, you know, our batchmates or senior to us who have I think are respected, let's put it that way, mainstream respected professions of a doctor, engineer. If you will take BCom, if you will take BBA, only then you will have a career. So we had very limited option. With Jagran, I think there are plethora of courses they have like, you know, given to Bhopal person. I think no other college, no other university has that kind of you know, courses which they have offered students, be it your journalism, be it your law. There are so many things that they have in general they have offered students to enhance their skill. So but this pandemic has really scared everyone, as we all know. Do you still suggest, like there are courses like BFA, filmmaking and animation, there are VFX, then there are journalism and mass communication. Would you still do you still see a scope in this coming time, and you would like, you know, what suggestions do you have for kids nowadays that, like, you know, they should still go for it and they should still opt for this course and enhance their skill and not go for the mainstream courses? Aparna, to you first.
I think now the youth has become a little rebellious. They don't want to follow that conventional courses. And I think they have the audacity to tell their parents that no, I don't want to do it. Now they are more confident about it. Yeah, I think if you are passionate about something, it's better to give it a try than regretting later in your 30s, 40s that I wish I could have done that. So yes, they should definitely go for these courses.
And do you think that it has a scope in the coming times?
Of course, I think the video industry is growing and it is expected to grow even more rapidly in the coming
Yeah.
future. So definitely.
I think more than industry, let's put it that way. OTT. I am somebody as a
Right.
I would go for OTT because it has so much content, and I don't think I have to wait for
Absolutely.
another year or 2 year to see something. Okay, it has a lot of options. So I think that way also it does not require a lot of manpower. In the industry to go with it. So again, how is your take on the OTT industry, and what scope do you think these courses have, like BFA and BFX?
The this is the generation of media.
Yeah, true.
So the scope is still there. I know the pandemic is affected, and then this is where we come as a media person, where we come as a media professionals. We should come together, not stand back, thinking that the pandemic has hit us badly. I think that's where we come strongly together. That's where we come and create awareness about this pandemic,
Yeah.
and where we disseminate the informations to the people. So that's where we should come together. So I think the scope is still very high there. When once the pandemic is over, and the media will bloom, and then OTT, it's very important, especially during this pandemic, as you were saying. So like in Bhutan, since we didn't have OTT, so we had to wait for the screenings. So until then, we didn't have any screenings, and then when there was no screenings, there was no inflow of the economic, and then we couldn't had any projects coming up. But then the good news is that by in few weeks the first OTT is coming in Bhutan, so that's called Samo. So we're excited about it. So there will be a lot of new projects coming up there. So people won't have to wait for cinemas to be opened. So now I think this is where now the new media is again OTT. So which is very important for especially for all the filmmakers, especially for all the media professionals. So I think it's must.
So I think we have discussed about all the pros. Any cons that you would highlight about this course and industry in general, considering all the
Uh,
perfections which comes with it?
about the cons, literally, maybe it might come to the those. Maybe not everyone can able that facility. Maybe
Maybe
those
it's
who are
uh,
you and me, we are educated, and uh, we can always go through the our smartphones, and we can always go through what's happening there. But then there's someone else who cannot afford a smartphone, where someone cannot have these things. So to those people, so it won't be really feasible for them to go through. I don't know, since it's new in Bhutan, and
yeah.
so it's going to be our first experience. So we are not very sure about the cons. We are just highly anticipating for that OTT platform to come here and see what's going to happen.
But again, if I have to see it from another angle, I think more than theoretical knowledge, this field is about this profession. This course is about practical knowledge. 30% theoretical and 70% practical, right? So I think it is your consistent efforts that you have to keep putting in. So I've seen you guys filming short videos for your project work, right? So Aparna, do you have any cons, when it comes to this course and industry?
Um, Well, I think I would always focus on the positivity. So, yeah, there are going to be challenges. Initially, you're going to be paid less, and it would be difficult to manage your finances. But I think as time passes by, I think people figure their way out. And more than cons, I think there are a lot of positivity to focus on. This course especially opens a lot of opportunities, especially
Yeah.
mass communication. You can go into content writing, social media marketing, advertising, public relations, digital marketing. There's a lot of abundance of opportunities.
Very
So
true.
yeah, for any profession there would be challenges. So we shouldn't, get disheartened.
But I think you have raised a very important point here, Aparna, and I would like you to elaborate on that. That is the financial, the monetary part. You know,
Yeah.
so we all know there's a certain package when we apply for a job. Okay, we are applying for a 7 lakh package, or for instance 3 lakh package. I think this does not have a definite package. It is how much you
True.
work, and it is for how many days you work, and then you get paid. So, how do you justify, or what do you have to say about the monetary part, and how one should, like, be consistent on this profession without thinking of that?
Well, I think I always believe that fall 7 times, stand up 8. There are going to be challenges, there are going to be hurdles, but if you are passionate about something, you should never give up. I think finance is a small part of it. If you're doing something else and your heart is somewhere else, it doesn't make sense. You're not happy. So I think for a short period of time, we can compromise with finances, but in the long run, at least you'll be doing something that you're happy about. You're
Right.
content with your life
Your
situation.
content, yeah, contentment is the
Exactly.
main. And what are your views on this, again, when it comes to
Uh,
the monetary part of the industry, and now after this course, or any course, like, when we talk about journalism and mass communication?
Sorry, due to the narrow thing, I think the things broke out in the middle, so I couldn't catch up very well with your question.
Okay, okay. So, my question to Aparna raised a point about the monetary part of the industry. So, my question to you is, after opting for such courses like journalism and mass communication, as it is a main concern of the parents, let's talk about, like, from a parent's perspective, what do you have to say that how somebody should be very consistent with their efforts, and when the monetary part comes, they should be assured that their hard work would be paid off. So, what do you have to say?
Yeah, I think in this field, uh, first and foremost, you need to be a hardworking person. You won't be paid unless you work hard. And then, like, for that,
uh, Again, your, I think his connection is very poor. So, uh, I think,
There's a
again, connection
connection
issue.
issue.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah, there's a connection issue. So, Aparna, apart from, from all this, like, what has been your golden moments, when you became part of this industry? Like, what moments can you recall of this, of
Of
your
the
career,
industry,
of
of
your
my
career,
career,
of your career?
of my
Yeah.
career. So the most precious one is during my convocation at JLU, where I was awarded with gold medal for academic excellence. And I remember my parents were sitting there and my friends were cheering so loudly.
Yeah.
And the vice chancellor tells me that, you must be really popular. Your friends are hooting so badly for you. And then I think every special moment with my friends in college was exceptionally beautiful. And I just can't, I would trade anything to be there with them again, to relive that moment again.
And
Be it our
how about your
farewell.
career?
Career wise, I think it's not going really well right now because of the lockdown. But if I talk about past experiences, I think doing that Coca-Cola TVC was very astonishing moment for me, because I remember when I was in 8th standard in school, Ranveer was shooting for Rajniti
Gopal.
in Bhopal, and it was in Oriental College, which is very near to my house. So I went there and I was standing outside college with my father. to see the shoot, and I stood there for hours and hours, and I couldn't go. They didn't allow us to go and see, and I was so disappointed. It was like in 2009, I guess. And after 11 or 12 years working with him in that advertisement was a phenomenal experience. It's like my dream came true.
Yeah, I know that feeling, and I knew this was coming, that, more than winning the title, it would have been the shoot with
Yes.
somebody that you've admired for all these years, your
Yes.
childhood crush. And again, what have been your golden moments of your career? Anything that you recall? I think again, can you hear me?
Oh, okay, yes, now I can hear.
Yeah. So what
I'm
are the
so sorry.
golden moments that
It doesn't
I
happen usually. The network's so bad today.
no, it's
I'm so
it's
sorry
fine.
about that.
So again, what are the golden moments that you recall from your career, and so far, and what has it been?
That would be my visit to Cannes Film Festival. That
Okay.
would be,
Yeah.
that was last year, before last year, 2019. So I was there at Cannes Film Festival. So that was the first time, I think, first Buddhist to ever been there and like host a flag in the Cannes Pavilion. And then like the golden moments, stars, Hollywood missed stars, like you wouldn't even like feel it's real, you sit on the same table and like dine with them, and then like you feel like, oh, is it real or am I like just
Am I dreaming? I
so
know
that
that.
was quite
I know. So, and what are the things that you recall from the campus? What are the fun moments that you recall from the campus?
from the campus, I really like missing the class, actually bunking the class.
What do you miss about the class?
No, but then I really loved I really enjoyed playing. I really enjoyed being a part of a university football team. So most of the time I was in the field playing football,
Okay.
and then uh, I really like having conversation with Mr. Devaka Shukla. And then like Sir Jayan Panda, and they were always about like they were just not only about education. They normal don't talk about the academics. They don't talk about the schools. They talk about actually how you grow in your life. They teach,
Yeah,
and then
true.
like their conversations always about how to grow as a life, and then like their life experiences. So I think like being with the Indian friends at times, I never thought I would miss JLU when I was there, but then at this point of time, I do miss JLU.
Perfect. So I think this overall journey has been a beautiful one for both of you, and I must say all the faculty, your respective faculties, are really proud of you for achieving such laurels at a very young age, and whatever that you're doing in your life is actually commendable. Thank you for being a part of the show, and guiding all of us, and giving, and yeah, one more question, which brings me back to one more question. Now, what is that piece of advice that you would give to the current students of JLU, and Aparna, to you first, that what is that one advice that you would like to give?
I think don't compare your journey with someone else's. You'll see their happy pictures on social media, but you don't know what they're going through. So don't you compare your journey, and don't give up. Just keep going and live the moment, because once you step out of college, everything changes and it never comes back. So just live your college life to the fullest.
I think she has, like, you have given a very sane advice in today's time, where people are so influenced by social media and the
Hmm.
pictures and the videos which keep popping up. So thank you there. And what about you again? What is that one advice you would like to give to all the students here?
Uh, no one can justify your role as much as you can, and no one's going to
Very true.
replace what you do. So whatever you do, always follow your heart, and like I always have that passion when you are working on that. So unless you have the heart and the passion to work on that, you will always succeed.
Very, very well said. Thank you again for those wise words. Thank you, Aparna, for being a part of this show. It was wonderful having you two here, and really was really proud of you two. Thank you for the part of for being the part of this
That's
show
my
and
pleasure.
for making this evening a little special for us. You know, a lot of people were looking forward to this show. Your faculties, your batchmates. Thank you so much. Thank you for us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.